Right, doing a little bit of foraging. We found some rose hips which you could make into syrup, jams, jellies, or if you're feeling particularly evil, you could split them open. Let's take one off so I can show you guys. You can split one open, and the little seeds and the hairs that are inside them irritate the skin, and you can use it as itching powder. But what I'm really after today is, if you can see on this tree here, are these little red berries here. They're called hawthorn berries, and we're going to use them to make hawthorn ketchup. We're on to our third or fourth bush. This one is more stocked than the others, but we've got a few. We still need a lot more, but we're going to get some from this bush, and we're going to keep moving on until we've got enough. I'm just going to carry on with the picking. Now, hawthorns are quite easy to get off, but before you prepare them for cooking, you've got to remember to move all the little stems. So I'm going to carry on. I'll come back when I've done something. Now, this is still the same bush, but I just wanted to show you. We've collected some from this bush. We've not completely stripped it. We've left, well, more than 2/3, because it goes all the way up for the wildlife. And we're going to move on to our next one. And I'll come back when I've got enough in my tub. I'm just going to walk along. There we go. We've got another bit bush here with some on. Get some from here. So you don't have to go far, but you don't take all from one place. So let's carry on foraging. Now, these are the hawthorns I've collected so far. I'm going to go home and weigh them. If there's enough for my recipe, then we'll get on with the cooking. If there's not, I'll just have to go get some more. Right, so now we've got enough hawthorn berries. Just need to wash these and take the stems off. See, like that. Oh, that side. See, like a little cherry. Just need to take the stems off. Need to wash them, and then we get them into the pan with some more ingredients. So just wash these quick. I wash my hands first. Wash these quick. Right, so now I've washed these. I've done it in this mesh bag, which we're going to use a bit more later as well. So now I've just got to de-stem and then put them into the saucepan. So let's turn you guys around a little bit, see what I'm doing. What we do is we'll get one of them pots, put the stems in. There we go. As we're de-stemming, just going to dump them straight in there. Make sure we get the stems off. Any ones that look not particularly nice, put to the side. See, a lot of these I did de-stem while I was picking. It was just easier to pull the berries off without the stems. A lot of them were stuck to the stems a lot tighter. So this is going to take me a while. But these hawthorn berries have also been known to be called bread and cheese. That's what my dad told me they were called. Not sure why. I think he said because it was just a food staple that from when he was living out in the countryside when he was a kid. And kids used to just get them and eat them. It was just one of the things that you did, like you eating bread and cheese. So I'll finish this handful. So you can save that one for a minute. we'll save this handful and we'll skip ahead to the next part of the video. So, yeah, you can eat these raw. But do not eat the seeds, the stones in the middle, obviously. And at the moment they do have a bland taste. Slightly sweet but bland, much like a piece of bread. So I'm going to carry on de-stemming these and I'll come back to you guys in a minute. Right, so we've got our hawthorn berries already. Next thing we need is apple cider vinegar. And we're going to need about 300 ml of apple cider vinegar. Put that in there with the hawthorns. Give them a nice cover in there. And then we need about the same of water. So 300 millilitres water. And get our wooden spoon, give that a little mix up. Right, now we've got to bring that to the boil. Let's put it on that one. Bring it to the boil and then let it simmer for 30 minutes. While we're doing this, I'm just going to go get some sterilising tablets and I'm going to sterilise a couple of little jars just to put it in. So we'll come back for the next step. There we go, it's starting to come to the boil, so you can turn it down just a little, let it simmer for half an hour. And I cannot stress to you guys enough the smell that is coming off of these with the apple cider vinegar. It is not nice, but this is what we must do. Following an old recipe, we're doing it as it says, so we're going to let that simmer for half an hour and then we'll come back. Right, so now we're on to the next part. We've got our scales here, raring to go, hopefully it's not having a fit. So we want 175 grams of sugar. Put that back in the cupboard. Well, that's ready to go into our next pan. Chuck that in there like that. Okay. Then we want to. This is where you want either a really fine mesh bag or some muslin. We're going to use this vegetable bag that I picked up from the supermarket. It's a really fine mesh. It should do exactly what I need it to do. So, there's that stinky stuff. Now you want to cook these hawthorn berries for about half an hour or until the skins start to burst. So they become nice and soft and yeah, they just burst. So then we want to pour all of this through this mesh bag or muslin cloth. Make sure I get them all through there. Because then any tough bits of skin or any stems you might have forgotten to take off or any leaves that are still clinging on, they will get caught in this bag. So okay, want to get this tied up nicely like so. Now I need a cloth because it's still very hot. Yeah, there we go. Got a cloth here. I just want to hold it over there and squeeze all the juice, every little bit of juice I can get out of there. I'll just squeeze it out. That's not working. It's still hot. But at this point, I would say let it cool. But if you think you can do it, by all means, try. That worked a bit better. Right. So that's that. It should give you some nice red liquid. So the next thing we want to do, I'm just going to turn you guys around a little bit here so you guys can see. You want to get that onto the heat with the liquid. Like so. And we want to get our wooden spoon and we just want to keep stirring that. Make sure the heat's turned up. We wanted this on a low heat. Let's just lower this down so you guys can see a bit better. There we go. You just want to keep stirring this until all the sugar has dissolved, and I managed to squeeze some of the skin through. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, but yeah, just keep stirring away. Should take about 10-15 minutes maybe to get this all dissolved, but make sure you've got it on a low heat because you don't want the sugar to burn in the pan. Did I actually put it on? Yep, I did actually put it on. That's fine. So yeah, just bring it up to the point where all the sugar's dissolved, and then you want to bring it to the boil. So this whole process should take about 20 minutes. So you want it to have a consistency like syrup, because it's actually, instead of it actually being thick like ketchup, it's actually more like a Chinese dipping sauce. But you see it's starting to, I don't know if you can see, but it's starting to boil, so just give it a little stir. One way, then the other way, and every way. Backwards, forwards, frontwards, backwards, side to side, up and down, diagonal, clockwise, counterclockwise. Let's bring you guys closer so you can see. Just give you a little tilt. So, take it round and round. And then I'll put it in the cup. There we go. You want to add in about half a teaspoon of salt and some pepper. Pepper will give it its little spice. Just mix all that in there as well. Okay, give that a nice mixy mix and bringing it to the boil. Make sure all that sugar's dissolved. And with it being the winter season, the fall season, the autumn season, depending on when you're watching this, I'm going to add some Schwartz allspice, just a little sprinkle. Just a little sprinkle. And we want to turn this down. We just want to let that turn into a syrup. The sugar's starting to dissolve now. Now you want to make sure you've sterilised your containers. And once you've sterilised the containers, probably best to use some of these jars, but we're going to consume this pretty quickly. But yeah, you store them in those jars, and if they're properly sterilised and you've cooked this right, it can stay like that for up to a year. If you want to pour it into some sealable freezer packets, I'm sure it can last a lot longer in the freezer. But to have it as a table sauce, and just stored in the jar, it can last up to a year, providing everything's all sterilised and cooked properly. So we're just going to keep stirring this for a little while now, and we'll come back when it's done. So I've got it in the little jar. Jar's all misshapen where I use hot water to sterilise it. But as this cools down, it's going to thicken up. But who wants to wait for that, eh? So I've got some lightly salted tortilla chips, just so they don't take away from the flavour too much. And just going to nice coating on there. As you can see, it is like a dipping sauce. Hot. Pleasantly surprised. If I had to do it again for everyone else, I'd probably put a bit less ground black pepper in it. It does have that little tingle on the end of my tongue, but it's like a sticky sweet dipping sauce that you'd have, say, with your Chinese takeaway, on your pork balls or in chow mein or whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a lid on this, and we're going to cool it down. We're going to have it with dinner tonight with vegetable fingers instead of fish fingers, and then I'm also going to take it to the Greener Futures group that I volunteer with the tortilla chips, if there's any left. And so Hawthorn ketchup, I would think it's more Hawthorn dipping sauce, but be great with the Chinese. And it is great for dipping chips in, or crisps as we call them here. I think that would go good on any sort of savoury dish as a glaze. Maybe even on pork bellies. I reckon that'd be good on pork bellies. Or chicken breasts. Hawthorn sauce, I'm going to call it. Hawthorn sauce is going to get a thumbs up from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below, share on all the social medias, share Craig's Cabin all over your Facebook, Instagram. You can also follow us on all the social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Reddit. We're on them all. So thank you very much, guys. Don't forget to check out the Craig's Cabin Foraging Field Guide book on Amazon, which actually has the hawthorns that we picked in there. Keep your eyes open, there may be more books to come. Check out the merchandise page. Get yourself some Craig's Cabin merchandise. Take a picture of it with you wearing some of our gear, and we'll put you up on our social media. Stay safe. I'll see you later.